The funeral wreath arrived on a Thursday morning. White lilies, a black ribbon, and a card that read, "Your wife was a traitor." The handwriting was deliberate, European, sharp edges, like it wanted to draw blood. The detectives said it was a mob hit. Russian, they whispered, like the word itself was dangerous. I didn't correct them. I just nodded, eyes on the wreath. I used to teach high school literature. Hamlet, Othello, betrayal printed in ink. But the words felt different when they crawled into your life, when they killed your wife. That night the detective called again. His voice was uneasy. "We know who did it, Viktor Sokolov. But he's an FBI informant. He's untouchable." Untouchable. I stared at the word until it lost meaning. Then I remembered who I used to be before I became Mr. Levin, the quiet teacher with coffee stains on his shirt and papers to grade. Before I traded the blood and whispers of the Mossad kitten for chalk dust and lesson plans. He thought I was harmless. He had no idea what he'd resurrected. They said she died in a robbery gone wrong. I didn't believe it. Sarah didn't walk into bad places. Bad places came to her. 2 days before she died, she'd stopped answering my calls, said she was at a conference. But I knew her tone. Tight, careful, like she was speaking through a locked door. I went through her laptop that night. She never logged out. Old habits. Hidden folder, encrypted, poorly. Password was our wedding date. Inside, messages, photos, bank transfers, all to V.S. Sokolov. She met him 3 months ago, the first time the Bureau brought him in for protection. She was a translator, linguistics consultant for the FBI. That's how it started. Her smile in those photos wasn't forced. That was the first time I felt my pulse slow instead of rise. A stillness, cold, controlled. The same stillness I felt years ago before taking a shot that changed the course of an entire government. Love makes you human. Betrayal reminds you you're not. I didn't rage, didn't break anything. I made tea, sat down, began to plan. First, I called an old contact in Tel Aviv. Gideon. He owed me a favor. He found Sokolov's FBI cover ID in 12 hours. The rest, addresses, schedules, aliases, arrived in my inbox like a dossier from the past. Then I dug into Sarah's world. Her email showed wire transfers. One was labeled consulting fee, $500,000, from a Russian front company. There it was, the word on the wreath, traitor, starting to mean something, not just to her. I needed confirmation. I went to the Bureau's evidence clerk I used to teach night classes with, slipped him an old favor in the form of an encrypted drive. He gave me what I wanted, Sarah's personnel file, unredacted. Her last meeting note, subject requests language translation for secure drop asset exchange. She wasn't helping them. She was them. An informant inside the Bureau, feeding intel to Sokolov. I sat there for a long time, the light from my desk lamp cutting half my face into shadow. I realized the mob boss didn't lie. He just told the truth before I was ready to hear it. The truth arrived on a cold drive from Gideon 2 nights later. A recording. Sarah's voice, whispering in Russian. He doesn't know who I am. He thinks I'm a teacher's wife. Pause. Once the transfer clears, I'll disappear. My breath didn't catch. It stopped. For the first time in years, I understood silence, not as peace, but as precision. I called Sokolov. The number he used for Bureau contact still worked. He answered like a man with no fear. "Mr. Levin, I'm sorry for your loss." My voice was steady. "You sent the wreath?" He chuckled. She was playing both sides. Dangerous game. But I liked her. She made you weak. Weak. That word carried me through a decade of killing, a lifetime of pretending. I ended the call quietly. No threats. I just needed him to see. 2 weeks later, I walked into the FBI field office. Jacket pressed, lesson plans tucked under my arm. Nobody looked twice. I handed an envelope to the counter clerk, sealed, marked Internal Affairs, Classified Evidence. Inside, every message, every payment, every recording. Sarah's betrayal. Sokolov's connection to the Bureau's own handler. Within 48 hours, the informant program collapsed. By week's end, Sokolov vanished from federal protection. He didn't need my bullet, he had the Russians to handle him. When I saw the headline, "Informant Found Dead in Safe House Fire," I closed my laptop and exhaled. Not relief, just balance. The next morning, I went back to class, taught Othello, spoke about jealousy, lies, the cost of knowing too much. The students thought my voice cracked when I said the line, "She loved me for the dangers I had passed." They were wrong. There was no crack, only memory. I erased the board when the bell rang and looked out the window. The world was quiet again. People forget that justice isn't always loud. Sometimes it's just silence, and a man remembering who he used to be. I left the classroom lights on when I walked out. Some ghosts deserve to see where they died.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and comment. Subscribe now to Cheating Stories Insight World for more amazing stories.